Okay, good day, everybody. Welcome to episode, I think this is 7 of Sphere Marketing or Sphere of Marketing. And today we're going to talk a little bit about things that we use within our systems, like tools that we use to kind of implement really good marketing strategies and tools companies can use to do really good marketing. I think a good place to start off is we could talk about the email SMS side, because that's where a lot of automation comes in. So there's a ton of tools that do this. The original way is that you just email everybody. When you have a list of customers you're following up with, or you have a list of customers who signed up on a sign-up sheet, you would just BCC everybody and just send everyone an email. That's the old-fashioned way. You remember doing those?
Yeah, you still can.
You still can. There's some rules against it.
Yeah. There's like limits on how many, and I think there's limits on how many emails you can send, period, in a certain time frame, right?
Yeah.
For most email
Yeah.
providers.
Well, and now it's kind of actually hard to get all those rules in one place because there's a ton of them. And every province in Canada has a different set of rules, and every state in the US has a different set of rules. And so to make sure you're following all the rules, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. And almost probably everywhere you're supposed to have the unsubscribe.
Yeah.
One-click link in the bottom, which is not really practical to do in a plain old email.
No. And so there's a couple of things that you really need when you're thinking about doing email campaigns, following up drip campaigns, that kind of stuff. One is unsubscribe, one is list management, and one is designing the thing. So when we're talking about the unsubscribe piece, so every email requires that you do like an email broadcast is what it's called. Google requires you to put a one-click unsubscribe and to actually have it accessible by their system. So now you'll find if you go into Gmail, right at the top, oftentimes if it's a promotional email, there's just a button there that just says unsubscribe that's generated in your Gmail, not even within the email. Just right at the top, you can click unsubscribe on all that promotional stuff. Now, the second piece is, if you have that in there, you need to be managing a list. Has this person unsubscribed? Well, what if they come back and resubscribe? Well, you want to have a history of the stuff that you've sent to them before. You don't want to send them the same stuff again necessarily. So what you can do is there's all these, it's basically a contact list, and it has, is this person subscribed? Is this person not subscribed? But really, once you get there, now you have a list. And you can manage that list and add some stuff on, right? So here's a category, here's a tag, here's something to differentiate them. And then the design piece, you can just write an email and that's fine. But if you have like a really cool product with a picture, you might want to show that picture. Or do you want to design up the email or send a GIF or a video? Or do you want to make it fit your brand standards and your colors and the fonts that you use? Well, you can actually do all that stuff too. But it's really hard to do in a regular email, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where we say, okay, come in and you use a tool of some kind. It'll do the unsubscribe for you. It'll let you know. In almost everywhere, you also need an address. Not everywhere, but almost everywhere, you need an address, a business name. Sometimes you have to have a registered business number. Think California, Florida, Texas, Arizona. You need a business number as well. So you can register that stuff on the back end of tools like Klaviyo, or tools like Kit, or tools like MailChimp. All Constant Contact is the Canadian one, right? So you've got all these companies that do these things. We don't like all of them. We don't. No, we've used the 3 that we've used the most, I guess, would be MailChimp, Klaviyo, and Constant Contact.
Yeah.
There are other ones out there that are pretty good. It also depends on how big your business is. How much send do you have? Right? How many people are you sending to? If all of a sudden you say, hey, I've got a list of 1 million people I need to email, these are you're probably not talking about these tools anymore. You're talking about a bigger tool. So some of the other tools out there are like at a higher level. So Twilio SendGrid is one of the big ones. So if you have a send volume in the millions, you probably want to talk to them. They have really good rates at a base level because they actually run it. There's companies like Blue Shift. There's companies like HubSpot that'll give you really good pricing at those volume levels. There's all sorts of companies that do this stuff. But when you're talking about you want a message right from the beginning, there's one called Blue Mail that's growing now. If you have a big company, all of a sudden you're in a different tool territory, right? Because you want to be closer to the base pricing. Talking about tools, right? We want to engage customers. We want to get as much out of a customer as we can, increase lifetime value. So let's talk a little bit about each one. So Klaviyo operates on two primary types of campaigns. So you have a broadcast campaign, which you just send out one email to a list of people. You might segment it by saying, hey, if they're tagged with this promotion or they are in this group or this segment that I uploaded, and then you send out an email to everybody. That's a broadcast campaign. The second type of campaign that they run, call it a drip campaign. I think they call them automations or flows now. And basically what it says is you've done an action and now we're going to start sending you emails based off that action. So the normal one is a welcome one. Hey, you just signed up for the campaign. We're going to send you these emails to tell you about the brand, pitch our product, give you an idea, maybe give you some value adds, some maybe PDF downloads or whatever the thing is. Hey, I signed up for this thing. Here's the welcome email series. Mm-hmm. Then you might have one, hey, someone purchased a product off of our online store. Here's the purchase series. And it's going to trigger by, hey, it's shipped. We're going to send them an email, it shipped. Hey, it's arrived. We'll send them an email, it arrived. Hey, it's been a week. Ask for a review. Hey, how do you like the product? How do you like the experience, right? So you have these flows that you can build out. Klaviyo operates on those two basic types of campaigns. If you look at a software like MailChimp, there's another type of campaign. You can do these life cycle campaigns where someone will qualify for being part of the life cycle. And then every January 4th, we're going to send out a, hey, Happy New Year email to everybody on the campaign every year. So now over the life cycle of a year, you can build out campaigns based around holidays and stuff like that will go to your entire list, right? So they have the broadcast campaign, the flow, but then they also have these campaigns that automatically will go out and send out something for Valentine's Day or whatever. Or you can prompt it to say, first Valentine's Day, do this one, second one, do this one, third one, do this one, as they're in the list, right?
Can
so you can do once.
Can you do like a shorter schedule or like monthly?
I think you can do monthly too, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. It allows you to build out a different type of campaign.
Yeah, you could do a whole year's newsletters in one shot or...
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and especially if you're communicating similar things, this is where MailChimp is saying, okay, let's connect to our customers in a different way. They're really connected in with Intuit, which is like the QuickBooks business. Mm. And so they're adding people based off of, hey, are they a customer of yours? Are they paying their bills? And you can do all sorts of automations around that as well within MailChimp. When you connect it in, hey, I got a new customer, send out our welcome campaign, onboarding campaign, whatever the thing is, you can automate that into even your billing systems, right? So MailChimp is moving into the business side of things and saying, let's optimize for businesses to have systems and automations that really, really work at a fundamental level. So MailChimp's good in that way. Klaviyo's good for really, really good at segmenting and list management. Recently came across one called Kit, really good for advertising specifically. It builds out you can build out landing pages on there. You can have lists based off of landing pages. Then you advertise to that landing page and generate traffic that way.
Oh, okay. Landing pages you can do through MailChimp as well, right?
Yes, you can now.
Klaviyo too, or no?
Klaviyo could be. I haven't seen that feature in there yet. Yeah, but MailChimp has been, like, they were stagnant for a long time because they were the big player. Like, they were doing everything and had all the volume, but then all these other ones cropped up, and so they've really taken their game to the next level in the last few years.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about email. There's also SMS, right? So you want to do SMS services where you're texting your customers. We think of that as a synonymous thing. Your email and your SMS, you really want to be managing together, because if I just sent you an email about a thing, I don't want to send you an SMS about that same thing at the exact same time, right? Yeah. So you want to break it up and you want to have flows. So in all these softwares that I've talked about, they have both. email and SMS. So then you say, hey, I'm going to email Chris on Monday about this sale. And then on Tuesday, if he hasn't opened the email, I'm going to send him a text message. And you could build in these automations, right? So, hey, if he hasn't seen it, I'm going to send him a higher level communication. And the reason you might do that is to say, I want to for sure make sure everyone sees this, but an SMS is really expensive in comparison to an email on all of these platforms. So why would I spend the expensive SMS if you open the email? You already know about the sale, right? So I can follow up with you on email and I'll just keep emailing you. But for the guy who just never checks his email because he knows it's all spam, sending him a text message is going to be probably get a good return on investment.
Yeah.
Right? So for every customer, you have email, you have SMS. In MailChimp and Klaviyo, with integrations, you can add more message sources. So the common one that someone might think of is, hey, I run an app and I've got an app, and so I'll do push notifications.
It is.
Yeah. You can send push notifications just from a website too. People just have to opt into it, and almost nobody does.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of different stuff you can do.
That's part one.
Part one. So yeah, that's email, SMS. So we like a set of tools. We can implement that kind of stuff for people and build out those flows. It's a lot of work. You got to design up all those emails and all that stuff. So that's a piece that we do. Another piece that is really interesting on the front end, when you're advertising to people, there's all sorts of tools that you can use to get better leads and better customers. So we advertise and we send people to our website. When we do that, we want to target those people and get them to do a specific thing. So we advertise to a specific page. We're trying to build out customer like intrigue and get them thinking about the product. We also have a chat on there though. And we recommend this to a lot of people. Put a chat on your website that connects directly to your phone. So if someone chats with you, boom, pops up on your phone. You can pick it up and you can quickly respond. And you can say, hey, I need help with my website. Awesome. How can we help you?
Mm-hmm.
So, and time to lead really matters. Hey, I'm looking right now for this and I need to get on this right now. Awesome. Great. We can help you with that. Well, if I say, send me an email and then I respond to your email 6 hours later or 8 hours later, well, you might have talked to another company that already responded to you because they did have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, that customer service is better. I like it better. So there's definitely pieces there where you do want to optimize for time to lead and getting customers in the door quickly. So chat on a website, really, really handy feature. Yeah, of course you have a contact us page. You still want them to give you a call, send you an email. But at the end of the day, a chat is just another way for people to reach out to you, and more people are using them. I like using a chat on a website. If I can't find the thing I'm looking for, or if, hey, does your product solve my specific problem?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer all the time. So then it's nice to be able to jump on there and chat with someone.
Yeah. Yep. Even if you have to first have a conversation with their AI bot, filter through, and eventually gives you filter down, and then did this help you? And then you're like, nope, let me talk to a real person, and then you get there. That's not how ours works.
No.
Ours just goes right to us.
Yeah.
But
if you message us on the website, me or Chris will answer.
Yeah. But even those AI, like us on a tech support thing, some of them are actually surprisingly helpful.
Yeah, it's
They're
true.
real good.
Well, so we have an AI on our staging site, on our hosting sites, where if we have hosting issues, the AI is built for hosting, and it's very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It almost always solves problems, even weird, obscure things that I'm like convinced is something that someone's gonna have to look at, but it just gives me the answer.
Yeah, it's really good, really, really good. And Kate, so let's talk about some more tools here. So you've got your website tools. So you might have a chat, all that kind of stuff to bring people in, drive people to give you a call and make that next reach out. You have the email and SMS once someone's into your system. You may also want to get people into your system into your email and SMS system before they're a customer. So you might advertise to a specific sign-up form or to a sign-up flow or to an article that they have to give you your email to read this article or whatever the thing is. And so you might be getting people in. So having a sign-up flow on exit on a website is also a really valuable thing. So a lot of these pop-ups, the way that they operate is you can toggle a switch that says on exit intent through a pop-up, right? So what does exit intent means? It's literally tracking the mouse on the page. It's saying, is their mouse about to go up and close the page or go to a different page? Quickly throw up a pop-up that says, hey, do you want to find out more information? Sign up for our email. And so there's some really good value in having a pop-up. Now, we all know when you go to a website and there's immediately a pop-up, how annoying is that?
Pretty annoying.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Like a 6.
Yeah, it's irritating. Now, if there's 2 pop-ups, all of a sudden it's an 8. And if there's also an ad on the side of the page, you just leave.
Yesterday, I had that one pop-up. I closed it. Another one came up immediately. And I was almost like, I'm closing this. And I was like, how many pop-ups are going to be? So I stuck around just to see.
And there was 12?
It was just 2. That was it.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 is the one because it just piques your interest. Like, well, how long are they going to keep doing this? Probably that's not how I would operate most of the time, though.
I would not operate that way. 2 pop-ups? You lost me. I'm done. No, but a pop-up on exit is much more valuable than a pop-up when someone comes to the page. Because if you just came to the page, let them get some information first and then throw that pop-up.
And if you're not interested, you're still just closing it or clicking somewhere else. It actually isn't any extra work if you're on your way out anyways.
Yeah, you're just going to close the page. So, yeah. So that's another really valuable tool. Some other tools that we've used in the past and that we think are helpful is like project management tools. So we've talked about Monday.com before, but even just having like sign up forms to get into that drive information deeper into your systems, right? So Monday.com, you might have a workflow and say, hey, if you fill out this ticket form, that's going to go directly into our system where we deal with these tickets. Or
click here to watch our Monday.com podcast.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know if that will show up, but
you can cut that too.
We'll give it a shot. But at the end of the day, we think like a Monday.com type system or Asana or whatever you want to use. We like Monday, so that's what we're going to talk about. Is really, really helpful. You can come in and you can have systems that drive information to the right people in the right place. And in marketing, that's super valuable. Hey, I have a contact form on the website. I want to drive that directly into a sheet where all my sales guys can come in and we can have it assigned to a specific person and they can follow up. And you skip the step of, okay, this has to go to a general email and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
We can also talk about things along the lines of advertising tools. So when we are looking at advertising, we have Google ads, we have Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads. There's ads everywhere.
Yeah.
You can do ads in an app store if you have an app. You can do ads literally everywhere. If there's a screen, there's probably some way to advertise on that screen. It's remarkable. The other day I was in a hospital, like a doctor's office, and they have these digital display ads, and there's different, like, usually like little article things about like, hey, wear a mask for this thing or that thing or whatever. But then there's also on there like, here's a blue pill that can help you out. And like all sorts of stuff on there where I was like, oh, interesting. They're advertising in the lobby of the doctor's office, which is like kind of aggressive, but also like anywhere you can put advertising, there's advertising.
Yeah.
So I think the digital advertising space is really big. Some of the tools that we use to make sure things work really, really well with all these things is like a Google Tag Manager. So if you are building a website, this is a note to the people. If you're building a website, Google Tag Manager, you want your people to set that up. So the reason you want it on there is what you could do is you could start tagging events. Hey, this thing happened on my website. I want to track when that happens. Otherwise, you're just tracking general stuff with like a Google Analytics. How many people showed up? How many buttons did they click? How long were they on the site? Really good information. But if you have a specific button or a specific event that someone is signing up or sending you contact information, you want to know how much that is triggered and who's triggering it. So if you set up a Google Tag Manager, you can then go and you can connect that to your Google ads or your Facebook ads or your Facebook pixel. And then you could say, hey, I ran Google Ads and this is how many times someone contacted us from the Google Ads. And you can measure these things. So a lot of advertising is hard to measure, a lot of it. When you are advertising digitally for conversion-based typed ad, where you're specifically looking for leads or you're looking to get more traffic to your site or whatever the thing is, you could track all of that data. Now, if you're doing a digital ad where you're saying, hey, I want to build brand, it's way less trackable to know, hey, how much do people think about my company differently? That's a hard thing to track. But if you just want to track, hey, I ran this ad, how many people bought a product on my website? That's really, really doable. And so built using a Google Tag Manager, using a system where you can actually go in and customize and say, I want to track this event, is really, really valuable. And we recommend everybody go in and set that up. Especially if you're building like a new website, build in your tracking from the beginning. Don't wait until you're like, oh, I wish I would have known this information. Right. Thanks everybody for joining us for this episode, talking about tools and kind of how we operate. Follow us, subscribe, check out the rest of our short form, long form content. That's it. Thanks, Chris.